You've felt it, haven't you? A subtle shift. The kind that doesn't come with thunder or lightning, but with a silence that resonates louder than words. Something within you is awakening. And even though you try to go about your day, checking the clock, responding to emails, preparing dinner, your soul keeps whispering, there's more. The angels have come close this morning. They are sitting beside you as you read this. And they ask you to stop questioning why you feel so drawn to this person who comes to your mind uninvited. They say, you are not imagining this. This connection is real. It was destined before time began. There are bonds formed out of circumstance, and there are those born from divine purpose. Yours is the latter. You weren't placed in this person's life to pass the time or fill in the gaps. You were sent to remind them of who they truly are, to awaken what they've hidden beneath years of fear, performance, and silence. You, beloved soul, are the living proof that the sacred still exists. And this person, this soul you keep seeing in your dreams or feeling deep within your heart, they are the one the heavens knew would need you most when they were about to forget themselves. The angels say, you were chosen to be a mirror of grace, to hold their gaze when they cannot hold their own reflection. Don't downplay the ache you feel. Don't dismiss your intuition. Every pulse of longing has a direction, a reason, a divine design. You've always known love is meant to be more than waiting for empty promises. You were never meant to beg for affection. You were meant to be remembered in silent prayers at night, to be longed for by a heart that doesn't know why it misses you, only that it does. They were never ready for someone like you, but heaven was. Heaven is. And so it sent you. For we are his workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand, that we should walk in them. Ephesians 2 verse 10. She walks through her days with a calm that even deceives her. And yet, beneath that careful composure, there's a storm that no one sees. The angels want you to know, what you felt from him, his distance, his hesitation, his silence, isn't about you. It never was. They say, he is carrying wounds older than you, fears deeper than logic, and shadows that have never seen the light. He learned long ago that to love meant to lose, that to open up meant to bleed. So he built walls. Tall ones. Silent ones. And when you came, so soft, so sure, so unexpected, he panicked. Because you saw him. Not just his smile, or his charm, or his well-timed replies. You saw the sorrow in his stillness. You heard the fear behind his laughter. You loved the parts he kept hidden, and that terrified him. What if you left like the others? What if you stayed and discovered the broken places even he hasn't made peace with? What if he let you in, and it was never enough? So he retreats. Not because he doesn't feel, but because he feels too much. The angels whisper, he is not pushing you away. He is trying to protect something he never thought he could lose. You were never meant to fix him, only to stand in love's light long enough that he remembers how to walk toward it. He doesn't hate love. He fears what it might demand. And yet, every time he thinks of you, something in him softens. Something in him wants to try. But healing isn't linear. Some days he will come close. Other days, he will run. Don't take it personally, soul of light. You are not his wound. You are his mirror. And mirrors don't cause pain. They only reveal what's been waiting to be seen. You keep showing up. With grace. With warmth. With a tenderness that even you sometimes forget you possess. And yet, there's a part of you that's tired. Not just physically, but soul deep. The angels lean close now, their hands hovering gently over your heart. They say, you have poured so much. But love never asks you to disappear. You are not sent into someone's life to lose yourself in the process. You are not here to dim your own light to help someone else find theirs. You, beloved one, were born to burn. Not in exhaustion, but in sacred brilliance. Somewhere along the way, you learned that love meant sacrifice. That to be chosen, you had to be the one who bends, waits, understands, and forgives first. And perhaps, that story once kept you safe. But not anymore. The angels want you to remember, your energy is precious. Your voice matters. Your needs are not an inconvenience. He may be in his own process. He may be learning how to feel, how to risk, how to love. But your journey matters just as much. You don't have to press pause on your becoming just because he's still hesitating with his. Your light is not a reward for someone else's readiness. It is your divine essence. And it must be honored. So yes, love him. Feel him. Hold space for what could be. But don't forget to hold yourself. Run your fingers over your own wounds and say, I'm still here. I still believe in me. Take the long bath. Write the letter you'll never send. Say no without guilt. Sleep in peace knowing that you are not behind. The angels say, every time you choose yourself, heaven celebrates. Because healing isn't always about someone coming back. Sometimes, it's about you coming home, to you. There are people who walk into our lives and make things easier. And then, there are those who walk in and make everything visible. You, dear soul, are the second kind. You didn't come to comfort his illusions. You came to awaken truth. The angels say, your presence is a light so honest, it cannot help but expose the shadows. This is why he flinches when you speak kindly. Why he stumbles when you see through him. Why he pulls back just when you think he's coming closer. You are not the storm. You are the mirror. He sees in you the tenderness he never learned to receive. The softness that asks for nothing but reveals everything. And though he may try to act unfazed, his soul is restless now. Because you have reminded him of the parts he buried, the emotions he silenced, the dreams he once abandoned to survive. You didn't do this on purpose. You didn't say or do anything out of strategy. You simply were. And that was enough. He looks at you and sees the version of himself he's afraid to become, honest, open, whole. And so, he hesitates. Not because you aren't what he wants, but because you reflect everything he's still afraid to face. The angels whisper, to be truly seen is terrifying for those who have never seen themselves. So don't mistake his distance for disinterest. Don't interpret his silence as rejection. He is not running from you. He is running from what you awaken. And yet, what you've activated cannot be undone. He will think of you every time he's quiet. He will feel your truth in places he never wanted to feel. And one day, he may find the courage to meet the reflection without fear. Until then, stand tall in your light. Not for him, but for you. Something is shifting. Not just in the air, but inside him. You may not see it yet. You may still feel the pauses, the silences, the unfinished sentences. But beneath that quiet, something sacred is beginning. The angels say, a seed has cracked open in him. And though he doesn't know it yet, a new truth is being born. He thinks about you more often than he admits. He replays moments in his mind, your voice, your words, the way your presence lingers after you're gone. There's an ache he can't explain. A longing he can't distract himself from. Because for the first time in a long time, he is feeling. You've stirred something ancient in him. Not lust. Not infatuation. But recognition. As if his soul remembers yours. And is slowly waking up from a sleep that's lasted years. He begins to question the path he's walked. The choices he's made. The people he's allowed too close, and the ones he's kept too far. And always, your name keeps rising in the stillness. The angels whisper, he thought he was in control. But love has a way of slipping past defenses and blooming in secret. He's noticing signs. Small ones. Your favorite color showing up on strangers. A song playing when he least expects it. Dreams that leave him restless. Moments when he turns to say something, and wishes you were there to hear it. It is subtle, but it is sure. This is the beginning of his return to himself. Not just to you, but to the truth he's spent a lifetime avoiding. Don't rush this process. Don't demand a timeline. Awakenings never happen all at once. They arrive slowly, like morning light filtering through heavy curtains. And when he finally opens his eyes, he will remember, you were the reason the light began to pour in. He steps forward, then back, then forward again. And you stand there wondering what changed, why closeness turns into distance without warning. The angels say, he is trapped in a pattern that began long before you, but your presence has brought it to the surface. This is not a game, not a manipulation, not cruelty masked as confusion. This is fear dancing with desire. It is a boy inside a man's body, still afraid of how much it hurts to want something so deeply. He grew up learning to protect himself, to leave before he's left, to love in halves, so he doesn't lose in whole. And then you came. Not loud, not demanding, just real. And he didn't know how to hold that. So he retreats. Builds space between what he feels and what he shows. Tries to unfeel what his soul already knows. But the angels are clear. Every time he walks away, something in him pulls tighter toward you. He tests the edges of what's safe. Sees how far he can go before you give up. Not because he wants you to, but because part of him believes you will. He believes he's not enough to be chosen. He believes that all love ends the same. So he repeats the only rhythm he's ever known. Close. Far. Hope. Fear. And yet, your consistency disorients him. Your grace unsettles his grief. You don't chase. You don't punish. You remain. Present, even in absence. Loving, even in silence. And that, beloved soul, is the balm his spirit never expected. The angels whisper, this cycle is breaking. Not by force, but by love that refuses to mirror his wounds. Keep being you. Soft and steady. Sacred and true. Because one day, when the cycle tempts him to run again, he will stop. Turn around. And realize, he's tired of starting over with anyone who isn't you. There's a kind of love that doesn't arrive with fireworks. It doesn't shout, or demand, or knock down doors. It heals. The angels say, your love has been a quiet medicine, seeping into the cracks of a soul too used to bleeding in silence. He may never admit it, but he feels it. In the calm that washes over him when he hears your voice. In the way his shoulders lower around you, as if his body remembers what safety feels like. You didn't come with a script. You didn't offer conditions. You simply loved him where he stood, confused, guarded, and half open. And that is what shook him to his core. He's known attraction. He's known passion. But this is different. This is sanctuary. Because with you, he doesn't have to be anything but human. And that, dear one, is rare. You saw the jagged edges and didn't flinch. You stayed. The angels whisper, his wounds have been waiting for a love like yours, soft enough to touch them, strong enough to not run. He may still keep his distance. Still fall into old habits. Still pretend he doesn't care as much as he does. But healing doesn't happen in declarations. It happens in presence. In glances that say, I see you, even when you're hiding. Your love is changing him, even in the silence. Especially in the silence. Don't measure your impact by what he says. Feel it in the energy. In the way he returns to you, again and again, even if just in thought. Because every time he remembers you, a little more of him remembers himself. There are moments when everything feels still, not peaceful, but suspended. As if life is holding its breath, waiting. You may be in one of those moments now. Where nothing moves, no message comes, and your heart wonders if you've been forgotten. But the angels are near tonight. Their wings hover over your spirit. And they speak, nothing is lost. Nothing is late. You are exactly where the divine has placed you. You see, Not all progress looks like motion. Sometimes the greatest leaps happen in the unseen. He is still finding his way, but not alone. He is being guided by the same light that now surrounds you. The angels show a path forming under his feet. Not straight, not easy, but certain. And each step he takes toward you, even if invisible to your eyes, is etched in eternity. You may be tempted to doubt, to question if the signs were real, if the love you felt was one-sided. But pause. Breathe. Remember, faith was never built on certainty. It was built on surrender. And this is a surrender moment. He may not be speaking, but he is listening. He may not be reaching, but he is remembering. And the divine orchestration? It is working in ways beyond logic, beyond emotion. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. Jeremiah 29 verse 11. Heaven has not forgotten your heart. It is preparing it. It is aligning time, space, and spirit so that when the two of you meet again, it won't be in confusion, but in clarity. Let the pause be holy. Let the waiting be sacred. Because what is coming is already on its way. He has built an empire of silence. Brick by brick. Year after year. Not to keep others out, but to keep himself from breaking. You, with your open hands and unguarded love, are a storm he never prepared for. The angels say, your presence stirs the waters of a soul that has forgotten how to be touched. He wants to love you, more than he knows how to express. But love to him feels like surrender. And surrender feels like drowning. He stands at the edge of what could be, your eyes holding his name, your spirit offering a safe harbor, and he hesitates. Because in you, he sees everything he desires, but also everything he could lose. He fears the unraveling, not of you but of himself. Who will he be if he lets his guard down? If he lets your love in and can't hold on to it? This isn't about rejection. It's about history. Memories stitched with betrayal. Promises that once felt warm, then vanished with the wind. He doesn't doubt you. He doubts the world. And he's still healing from the places where trust was torn from his grasp. The angels whisper, he is not cold. He is cautious. And every day, your love teaches him how to feel again. You have already done more than you realize. You've cracked open something in him that's been sealed for years. And although the opening is small, light is seeping in. Soft. Steady. Undeniable. So if he stumbles, if he retreats, if his words tremble when he tries to speak, let it be okay. Because he is learning. Not just how to love you, but how to be loved by you. Some stories are not written in ink, but in longing. In waiting rooms of the heart. In the quiet acceptance that love does not always follow the maps we make. The angels speak now gently, like breath on water. You did not fail. You did not fall short. You simply arrived before he was ready to receive. There is no shame in having loved first. No weakness in having hoped. You saw the beauty in someone before they could believe it for themselves. And that is not foolish. That is sacred. You gave without seeking to receive. You stayed when leaving would have been easier. And you hoped, not because you were naive, but because your spirit recognized a connection that reason could not explain. But now, it is time. Not to walk away, but to let go. Let go of the timelines. The need to decipher every silence. The longing for answers that may never arrive in the form you expect. Let love be what it is. Wild, untamed, and often beyond comprehension. Allow yourself to rest in the understanding that what is meant for you will never be lost. That what doesn't remain still shaped you. Still mattered. Still moved heaven in ways you'll never fully see. The angels say, there is no love wasted. Only love that returns to the divine, waiting for its time to blossom again. And perhaps, just perhaps, this story isn't over. Maybe it's only on pause. held gently in the embrace of grace until all hearts are ready. But even if it never unfolds the way you imagined, you can breathe in peace, because you offered genuine love. And genuine love never leaves one feeling empty. So now, dear soul, stand tall in your truth, rooted in self, wrapped in faith, radiant in a way that says, I trust the unfolding, even when I don't understand it. And in that trust, something beautiful will always find its way back to you.